Kansas.
A driving flip from the hip is good. Off the top of the backboard and through. KU down 5. Pokes loose on the deck. KU's got it. 3-on-1. Harris to KJ. On down. He spikes it home. DeWan on the feed. KJ on that flush.
Elijah to Darion Williams. 7 on the shot clock. Driving. Left corner 3. Bang! Against up 3 ball. Christian Anderson. Inbounds to Harris. Mayo for 3 of the left wing. Missed it strong. It's up in the air. Roadkill in Kansas. The Red Raiders.
Wave that wheat. Wave that wheat.
Win it 78-73 and continue to show just how much the tougher team wins.
Yeah, you get outscored 33 points from 3. It's going to be hard to make enough twos to come back. You got to make a lot of free throws and a lot of twos to come back. And we tried, but we didn't defend the arc at all. And I tell you that I don't know for a fact, but I think it was Hawkins that made the 2 in a row after we took the lead to put them back up. And then we had a terrible stretch where we missed a 3 to take the lead, and then they go up 7 immediately.
Missouri.
Now right side Grill, catch and shoot 3, wide left, rebound, Trent Parris, he flushed it to maintain the lead. Bates to the free throw line, gets into the paint, turns to the left side, hanging, puts it up and in. Mizzou with a 77-71 lead with 90 seconds to play. Step back 3 off the bounce, made it with 55 seconds to play to cut the lead to 4. 8.3 to play, misses. Rebound Cruz ahead for Grill, comes into the front court. Off the bounce from 3, missed it. Rebound pulled down by Magnon, and Vanderbilt wins it in overtime. Down by 6 with 1:14 to play in regulation. Vanderbilt ties it on a 3 by Tyler Nickel with 2 seconds to play in regulation, and they win it in OT 97-93. Back.
Well, it's a hard-fought game. Unbelievable atmosphere. I thought our guys did a good job fighting in and out. We had to lead for over 30 minutes in that game, but credit to Vandy. They did a great job down the stretch executing, and obviously I got to do a better job and putting our guys in an organized defensive situation.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Monday, March 3rd. That's right, we are in March right now, 2025. Stephen St. John, Todd Leabo is back from his vacation. Jake Gutierrez is here. He's back from his trip to Lawrence. He'll have a statement about that a little bit later. Today on the show, we'll talk to Pete Sweeney. He's back from, everyone's back. He's back from the scouting combine in Indianapolis. We'll see if he fought any other NFL reporters in the Starbucks in the hotel. There's going to be some references. You have no idea what I'm talking about, and I like that.
I know some things, but I don't know that one.
Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport almost got into fisticuffs.
Oh, really?
Over sources.
NFL
and
security had to be called.
Jordan Schultz reported that Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford got together at a ski cabin in Montana and to talk about Stafford going to the Raiders. And Ian Rappaport came out and poo-pooed that and said that they just happened to bump into each other,
right,
and it wasn't any kind of planned meeting because, of course, that would be tampering.
Right.
And then Jordan Schultz came back and said, if you think that these two guys
just
bumped into each other, then I got to, whatever.
Yeah. No, Ian Rappaport.
And so then apparently Ian Rappaport was speaking to an agent at the combine at the Starbucks in the hotel headquarters, and Jordan Schultz approached him and was like, "Hey, you got a problem with me?" And I don't have a problem. He goes, "We need to talk about this. We don't need to talk about nothing." And then Ian Rappaport ran off and called NFL security on him for them to
Allegedly.
What do you mean? No,
Oh, he really called it.
he called NFL security
Yeah, he went
on him
not
to
alleged.
investigate. No, people saw this. This was in front of a bunch of people.
Eyewitnesses, Todd.
We have the script of we acted out the script on the show. We know what happened.
Yeah.
It's great.
But Ian Rappaport told Pat McAfee he didn't call security.
Hey, what are you gonna say? No, I didn't call my mom to tell on you. No, I didn't tell the teacher or the principal.
I told someone else, and then they called.
Whatever.
What a fun time.
Yeah, you missed it. So we'll talk to Pete Sweeney about that. C.J. Moore, we'll talk to him. C.J. Moore from The Athletic, who covers college basketball. Get his thoughts on the weekend that was in hoops. And then Scott Carroll, former Major League pitcher, Liberty native, will come on. He'll talk a little baseball. We have him talk about everything, really. He'll talk some football. Of course, he played football in college, played baseball, multi-sport star. And we could also talk to him about really whatever we want, whatever I decide is topical by the time we get to the 9 o'clock hour. But
Have
the
him break down
majority,
the housing market for us.
the majority will
Yeah.
be about baseball, I think. But things are kind of slow right now with baseball, and so we can get his thoughts on.
But it is March, and
Yeah.
the Royals do play like opening day.
Right, but there's
in
nothing
March.
like
Coming.
there's no recent moves to talk about. The sudden rush of adrenaline when spring starts is over. Now it's like, okay,
The lull. Get me.
all right, they're
get
still
me
in
forward
spring.
here.
Okay, spring. As you know, when it comes to football, basketball, baseball, whatever, not really interested in games that don't count.
Guys running
It's
around
not-
in their underwear.
It's not just not interested. So
There's some names on these games. I'm assuming you don't even know who the players are. Even though you're deep into your rotisserie for the minor leagues.
you,
Never get excited about guys running around in their underwear.
you assume, and then you make an ass out of you and me.
I'm sure you know who all these guys are.
Maybe not.
I'm
not.
seeing some names like, oh, wow, good for you. Glad you got a home
Who
run.
don't you know?
I can't remember.
All right. Good talk.
But when you're in shorts, basically you do have your underwear on.
That's true.
Okay, so one local team won yesterday. K-State beat Colorado.
Can you tell me why they play that on Sunday afternoon
That's back-to-back Sunday games for them.
on ESPN Plus?
Back-to-back Sunday games.
Yeah.
Okay? K-State's a Sunday kind of team. All right? And so I don't know what that means.
I mean, I get it if it was on CBS Sports Network or FS1 or some. It's an internet game.
Maybe because nobody in the right mind would watch that game on Saturday. I don't know.
Just give you something on a Sunday.
What are you laughing for? I mean, I don't know.
True.
But like with all these, like, what if unless you were like the hardest core of K-State or Colorado fan,
Or you had
why
a
would you watch
action
that?
on it? Give you something to bet on.
Nah, there's so many other things on a Saturday that if it got down to that, then you need to go right to rehab or something.
It was a standalone Sunday.
Standalone.
Yeah, then
Sunday.
you can
Yeah,
a,
there was
a
something-
Stan alone.
Yeah,
Stan Weber,
Stan.
not alone though, because he was with Wyatt Thompson.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so K-State won
Big win.
65-56.
Is it?
Big win for them. I'm sorry, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because they have played their way off
Are
the
they
bubble.
the next 12 out?
And we just have they're like the next
24.
40 out.
40,
We
yeah.
just have to wait for them to see if they can go on a run
They need to win the
in
whole
Kansas
thing.
City.
Gotta
Okay,
go
so
win it
now
all.
we go to Saturday.
Where do you want to start?
I'll start with Missouri because I feel like we're going to spend more
Good.
time on Kansas
No.
because Bill Self wrote a bizarre statement that I still don't understand what it was for. And like even Seth Davis is retweeting like, I'm not sure I understand this. I've never seen anything like that. It was very odd. And even the timing of it was like late at night. Like, what's this on my timeline now? And it was just, I was very... See, I want to
Out
ask
of character.
I want to ask Jake about it right now, but I don't want to get into it because it's gonna be too long of a conversation. So we got to wait.
We gotta
Well,
wait.
I think I might have an
Tease.
answer for you. So,
What's that?
what it's about?
Well, we know what it's about.
Was it a long answer?
No,
What's it about?
about the horrible, stupid tweets sent at Zeke Mayo.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but that's not unique to the Kansas fan base or basketball program. Did we not just have the discussion a couple of months ago about Coleman Hawkins and K-State and awful things being said to K-State players?
Correct. No, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like shining a light on that makes it. I mean, I feel like this happens. Unfortunately, it doesn't excuse it, but I feel like college fan bases, and I shouldn't even say college fans, some people that masquerade themselves as college fans on social media are some of the most god-awful people. I don't know if they're trolling or whatever, and say some of the worst things you could possibly say. And are you like...
And honestly, in 2025, they may not even be people. It's hard to tell.
Right. I mean, are you like mentally stable?
Something wrong with a lot of
The
people
answer
in
is
the
no.
world.
they're
No.
not.
Okay. I mean,
They're mentally ill.
but I guess I see this. I mean, I saw this. I mean, you see this in the pros too, but you see this even more from in college. So yeah, I
We'll get
understand that,
into it.
but this happened so much. But it still was. That was still somewhat of a. What's the word you would use?
Angry Kansas fans out there who aren't used to this.
That's not a normal press release, right? That's not a normal statement you would see
No.
after a loss.
No.
I thought it was interesting, too, because he never mentioned that stuff, but we knew what
the
it
point was. It almost looked like the point was, hey, he's trying to convince people that they're trying.
Yeah.
Hey, we're actually out there trying. We're all doing our best.
Well,
It's
I think the difficult thing about it, now we're already into this
Yeah.
now, but you put the statement out, you don't say, hey, it's because some jackasses
Right.
said some things to my players. And a lot of people who peruse social media or see a press release on the news, they don't go that deep and understand all that. So now it can be read like you're talking about here by some fans going, wait a second, why is coach apologizing they didn't win a game? What's going on here? You know what I mean? Without clicking a few more things and understanding what was going on.
Some national people took it as, my God, the Kansas fan base is so spoiled, the coach has to send a release to apologize to them because they lost at home and they're not going to win the conference this year.
And it's a tight little rope you're walking because you don't want to say, hey, these people
Right.
said some things to Zeke Mayo because that will bring more nutbags out of the
Jake, you could see how someone that
woodwork.
doesn't follow them every day would see that and think that, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you're not close to the program or in this area, you probably aren't going to dig too deep, and you're just going to read this for what it is on face value. So I get it, yeah, but it's like
But
also,
then there is a little bit to that because the fan base has been
They're not happy.
a little unhinged.
a little.
Yeah.
It's been a rough one this year.
Oh yeah, but I mean also, yes, it has been. I'm not.
Don't you think there's been a lot of overreactions out there? I mean,
Yeah, and
how many times have we heard someone to address? Greg Gurley has had to address that the game has not passed Bill Self by because those are accusations from within. And if you don't think so, I'll offer them to you from
I get
people that,
messages from people who know that I'm a KU fan asking me that, hey, what's going on with Self? And friends from CBS and know that I'm a big KU fan, and that is the optics right now.
We'll just stick with Kansas because then because let me tell you something. When you get me going on
ain't
what
gonna be able to
happened,
stop him with Missouri.
when you get me going on what happened in the final minute of Mizzou Vanderbilt,
Oh boy.
and here's the deal, okay? We're going to play a little game. It's called damned if you do, damned if you don't, okay? Because last week, I thought it wise to watch Mizzou at Arkansas at a bar.
Oh boy, you don't do that.
Well, Richie was playing at the Landing in Liberty.
Yeah, sometimes there's no option.
And he was going to, hit the stage between 9 and 9:30. The game was at 7. I said, okay, we'll get a table
early. Watch the game.
2 birds, 1 stone. Table, food, drinks, game. And then we already got our table for Richie. Then we're
set.
okay, good.
You got a whole night.
And that was all good. And I watched it, and I was ready to rip the skin off my bones. Hearing what other people were saying and everything else, and that guy's clearly not a Mizzou fan. He's gonna say crap, and no, this Mizzou guy has maybe watched 2 games all year and knows no idea what he's talking about, and just And so I said that's a bad idea. If it's a home game, if it's a game at Mizzou Arena, I can watch it anywhere because they're probably gonna win On the road, it's tough to win on the road.
So this Saturday,
and so then this Saturday,
you stayed at home.
We are out, and I'm out with my girls, with my wife and my daughters. And I said, here's the deal. We're doing stuff all day. You're going to drop me off at home 10 till 5, game's at 5. I'm going to watch the game, then you come pick me back up. We go to dinner.
Yeah.
They drop me off. Empty house. Locked in. I am locked in. Every second, every play, everything. I took it in, laser-like focus, right? And I wanted to throw myself down a flight of stairs right after the game. But guess what? I did. I rolled down the stairs, and then they picked me up, and we went right to dinner.
It was a late dinner.
It's
Game
fine.
went overtime.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to be eating dinner a little earlier.
We ate.
So why did they lose the game?
Well, I'll get to it. We'll get to it. They lost because Vanderbilt made shots. But we'll get to it. But Vanderbilt should not have been allowed to make shots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jake was at Allen Fieldhouse. And I watched a good chunk of that second half. And I watched when it looked like Kansas was going to come back and win. And then I watched when they didn't. And how many times have we seen a game like that where Kansas comes back and wins over the years?
Well,
I've seen that script a million times.
Most of the time.
And they come back and win by 1 or 2.
The majority
and you
of the
think,
time.
how in the hell did they win that game? Boy, that damn Bill Self.
Yep.
Boy, that damn home crowd. Unbelievable.
That senior point guard.
It just the magic sauce ain't there this year, man. It ain't happening.
No.
It's just not happening.
It's not.
And so then the question you ask is why? Why are they losing these games? And so I'll ask you, you were there, you watch every Kansas game, why are they losing these games when in the past they've won them? Now, I'm not talking about games where they get blown out. Look, clearly they're not as good as they have been. That's a fact.
Right.
But some of these games like this, like the home game against Houston, that they should have never lost.
West Virginia home game.
Okay. Games they should have never lost. Normally they would not lose this game. Why? What's the difference?
They don't have a guy. I mean, KJ and a guy who can create his own shot. They've had that guy in the past. They don't have that guy. And that's what you saw in the last 2 minutes of that game. Combine that with just guys that do not believe in themselves, guys that have little to no confidence. Look, KJ played awesome. Hunter played awesome. They dominated the paint. But when the other team makes 15 three-pointers and you make 4, you're not going to win the game. You're not. I mean, Tech shot great from behind. I mean, they really didn't. They just shot a ton from behind.
Just volume, right?
Right? They shot 35% from three-pointers. And when I looked at that stat after the game, I was like, wow. I mean, it felt like they were a lot hotter than that. They just hit them in key points, and they had 3 guys that hit threes all night, and KU didn't. And so I was the turnover with 19 seconds left that Harris threw it away. Like, you're a fifth-year point guard.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing? And it's like those guys, they no confidence and no guy that is a killer instinct. That they don't have a killer. And usually KU has a couple killers, you know?
This is 3 home losses in league play.
Yeah.
First time since when? I don't even know the answer. We'll give it 1989, something like that maybe?
I mean, in conference, it's been a while. I can look that up.
You want me to read this real quick, and then you tell me
Yeah.
if there's anything that's in particular that stands out or whatever. You can stop me at any point.
Read it.
This is the statement. That was, what was the timing on this thing?
It was 10 o'clock at night maybe or something, right?
10:56 p.m. that night.
That was Saturday night.
Right. So it wasn't right after the game.
No, it wasn't. I remember because we landed, and I opened my phone and I saw it. I said, "What is this?" And it said, "This was just
Right.
posted." I'm saying, the game was over hours ago.
So this wasn't a coach making comments at the press conference right after the game like Jerome Tang.
Yeah.
When some stuff like that happened. This is like
it was,
hours.
It was after 11 p.m. when I saw it.
Okay. Timestamp on my post is 10:56 here.
Right.
This is Kansas basketball. This is from Coach Bill Self. The game today was a very good college basketball game. We played a very good team, and we got beat. We had some individuals have exceptional individual games, and we had some maybe not play up to the standard they've set for themselves. But everyone on our team, coaches included, myself, more than anyone, had opportunities to impact the game. A play here or there that could have been the difference in the game over the course of 40 minutes. Texas Tech made more plays than we did. We competed. We tried. We came up short, and I'm proud of their efforts. I'm also proud of their preparation to be ready for the game. We haven't had the overall year that we had hoped for ourselves, nor the year that many other people have expected, but it hasn't been from a lack of caring. I could do a lot of things better. We all could do a lot of things better. But I'll roll with these guys every day and be proud of it. Any criticism about the team should be directed at me. I'm the head coach. I'm looking forward to seeing how we bounce back against a terrific Houston team on Monday, tonight. Then after that game, I look forward to see how we respond to a terrific Arizona team on Saturday. This is the most important time of the season, and this is the time where we need to be better. And we also need to be focused on basketball and not things being said outside of basketball that have absolutely zero merit.
That's
Coach
what he's
Bill Self
talking about.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I mean, I think.
How many people follow Zeke Mayo on X to know?
And I had seen the Zeke Mayo stuff myself, right? But normally I would be asleep on Saturday night at this point because I don't stay up. But I saw that.
Overestimate how many people look at X or Twitter, dude.
And that's what my point was. Bill Self certainly has. And the Kansas, this isn't just Bill Self. This is the entire machine over there at Kansas basketball. If you think most people are in the weeds and know who Zeke Mayo is or know that he tweeted out these Instagram screenshots, because those were Instagram DMs he got, and have followed that to know. And I went far enough to go to try to look these people up on Instagram. Most of them had set their account to private at this point because I wanted to see if they were real people, what they were. You know, try your best. One of the guys
you don't even know if they're Kansas fans.
Oh, I know. And you don't know. Listen, I have said this 100 times on the radio over the past 15 years. Every one of us has given our stinking phone number to someone if you're on social media and just said, here, call me, right? So basically, 4 people at least got into his DMs and said things. If you're not on social media, they can't do that. So we have opened ourselves up for this. And as we talked about with Coleman Hawkins, it's hard for someone who's 21, 22 years old to turn it off. But they should. They should be on social media to follow things if you want to see what's going on, see who's wearing what, listen to a song, do whatever. I don't know. Have your DMs set to where people can't reach out to you, but they're in this little spot that they all want to be famous, more famous than just being a basketball player at a top program. They want to become influencers. They want to be able to make some money here and all that stuff. So they're riding on this razor blade right here, trying to do both sides of it. You got to pick one, man. If it's basketball season, I heard Drew Tranquil say this on Super Bowl week. Like he deletes his social media accounts.
Well, I mean, Zeke
during
Mayo,
the week,
he deleted his Twitter. I mean, he deactivated it. So good for him.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Like you can't go see his tweets anymore.
Yeah.
Like he took it down. He is no longer on Twitter.
So my guess is what happened on Saturday was he went to coach or someone in the basketball program and says, "Look at this stuff that's happening," and Bill Self's angry about it. But instead of saying, because like if you say, listen, lay off these kids. They're kids. Then that opens the whole thing. Well, they're getting paid now. Blah blah blah.
The pros.
And then
it's like Seth Davis, he's a pretty big name in college basketball. I don't know. You describe him to me. What is Seth Davis?
He's a big name.
He's a talking head on CBS.
CBS. He used to
But
be
he's
a writer.
One of the big names in college basketball.
He's a face
right?
of college basketball.
He has nothing to do with any other sport.
Right.
College
That's
basketball.
all it is.
Just hoops.
He reposted this and said, "I am genuinely confused as to why this was remotely necessary."
And then probably someone underneath him said, "Look at what Zeke Mayo tweeted."
Right.
And then I see.
But more people, no one. People aren't
don't
going to
know.
dig into this.
I know.
They're going to see what Seth Davis said and said, "Why is he?"
That's why you don't do it.
this?
Because if you're on the outside looking in and you don't know what happened with Zeke Mayo and maybe other players, I don't know. You're a guy. You're like, oh my gosh, poor Kansas has lost a few games at home and now they're apologizing. That's what it rings to most of the world.
Right.
Way more than majority.
Because right underneath someone puts, "This is why," but everyone else is, goes into their spoiled fans or whatever else. But other people are trying to tell them because their players are being attacked on social media. And then people answer, you think they're the only players being attacked on social media?
Exactly.
Wake up. And so it why attract more attention to it?
That's the hard part.
Question.
That's the hard part. I think you want to go out there and prove that you're doing something for your players and make a statement, but this wasn't a strong statement about that. This was, if you're really just concerned about what's happened on the court, don't give me the we tried hard 2 paragraphs. You know what I mean?
Jake, you have the last word on this in the segment.
I mean, he's doing his best to rally his guys and show that he has their back because they have a mammoth game tonight, a game that can change all their momentum. And most likely, Houston is a juggernaut, and Houston, that's
the tall task tonight.
Yes, just huge. But also, it's like a gigantic opportunity. If Kansas goes into Houston and beats Houston, that's a statement game, and that's a game that can change. It can change the momentum of your team with one game against Arizona left in a Big 12 tournament right around the corner. So I see what he's doing. He's taking the opportunity to, what else can you do at this point? He's taking an opportunity to prove that he's got his guys back, and it's us against the world, and start that that rally that so many teams do. And sometimes it works.
Back in the day, these are the things you just did behind closed doors.
Right.
And you didn't have to do this crap on social media.
Right.
I don't think Bill Self likes this part of it.
I don't think any coach likes this part of it. But it is what it is, and I expect Kansas to go out tonight and play tough. I mean, they played tough on Saturday.
Oh, they can play really tough tonight and still lose by 15 points.
Absolutely. But they have 2 games left against 2 good opponents.
What happens if they lose by 30?
Then they're right back where they are.
Because that's also on the table here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turn your DMs off.
Yeah. I mean, it's KU fans are spoiled. I'm spoiled. We're all spoiled because right now Kansas is still on the 6th seed line, and that's a horrible season for Kansas. That's where you're at, right?
Oh, it's the worst thing in 35 years.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I know they were an 8-9 one time, but that's a different feel. That was when a bunch of kids on the team, and Roy was kind of waffling.
Yeah, that's not when they were the
stuff,
AP preseason #1 team in the country.
Different.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a disappointing season, but I'm telling you, man, I think all these things. We'll talk to CJ more about it. It's so unpredictable now in college basketball on who's going to be good. And
it ain't going back to the way it was.
No.
This is different now.
They're going to have to adapt.
They were a 6th seed last year in the Big 12 tournament.
We have seen big-name coaches walk away from the sport because they don't want to deal with what college basketball is now.
Yeah.
Plenty.
That's how different it is.
Sure.
And to act like it's anything else, you're lying to yourself.
And I haven't talked to Coach about this in a while, but when he had his heart issue a couple of years ago, when we did talk to him after that, after he'd recovered, and it was a media day, I think the next year or something, he was, at that point for sure, he was like, we went down to Florida, got up in the morning, walked down the beach, walked back, now what? You know what I mean? I don't think he's a guy who can just go do nothing. So I don't think he wants to quit coaching basketball in any way. I'm not saying that, and you're not saying it either, Stephen. But lots of coaches have said, nah, this isn't for me.
No, I think Bill Self's the type of guy that looks at this as a challenge in a way to adapt. And how am I going to change? How am I going to get better? I mean, he's an all-time great. And, I mean, Gurley has said it on the show. He just didn't all of a sudden become a terrible coach.
The rules have changed in college basketball and football, everything. The rules have changed. I mean, if everyone out there can go – it used to be you could go recruit – and I'm not talking about FBI investigations, whatever. People, not that part of it. We know some things were happening at some schools or whatever, but it's just anyone can go get any player they want to come do anything.
Well, here's the
for
deal.
any amount of money now.
Playing in Allen Fieldhouse and playing for Kansas used to be
special.
A really awesome thing. And guess what? $1 million versus that is
it's better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's that it used to be an advantage to have Kansas on the front of the jersey and have Allen Fieldhouse, and it's still a really special place.
Not
and
quite,
It's still
though, right?
really
Yeah.
cool. But guess what? $1 million is a lot cooler.
That's right.
And so that's different.
It's different, man.
Yeah.
It's different. There's a lot of talent running around in this basketball era right now that's not at the Blue Bloods. And it used to all be sitting there at the Blue Bloods, except for the one occasional guy who slipped through the cracks. And like, oh, I didn't know this guy was good. And he ends up somewhere else. It's a different deal now, man.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to evolve. I mean, they will.
For sure.
This is where it's at right now. Is not where it's going to stay. It's going to continue to change because it's the wild, wild west right now, and they're
insane.
In football and basketball.
And basketball is even crazier, I guess, just because there's so few players.
Right.
You can really change everything with just a couple people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's something, man.
It's good. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's ever evolving, and it's not done changing.
Yeah, it's probably not as fun as it used to be a Kansas, North Carolina fan, whatever. I mean, Duke's still doing well right now, but yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not as much fun.
Well,
for who?
It's more fun for everyone else.
Everyone else. That's what I'm saying. It's perfect.
No, it's not very much fun for North Carolina right now.
Too bad for them.
Who cares?
Not very much fun for Kansas.
ESPN probably cares because they're going to shove this North Carolina Duke game that is absolutely irrelevant down our throats this week. Can't wait to see the rematch. I can wait because it doesn't matter.
But the best thing also is that there's a tournament at the end of the year that's going to determine who the champion is. And Kansas could still, they have the talent they can still make a deep run. And that's why it's awesome. They can still make an Elite Eight. They can still make a Final Four.
That's the way the tournament's always been.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're such a wise ass.
No, it is. It's just wild because I mean that's why this tournament's better than the others.
Kansas somehow makes the Final Four. All this is irrelevant, right? Where they finished in the Big 12, irrelevant.
Now, do you think they're making the Final Four?
Do I think? Am I going to bet on? Probably not. But can they? Absolutely, they can.
Let's go. Jake's back, baby.
They can. They get some good matchups. They get some guys playing right.
Some kind bounces.
They have the talent.
It's amazing to me just how bad at finishing games they are. They used to just rip your heart out all the time.
No, it's 1 year, Todd.
Well, it wasn't as good last year either. I can't believe they lost the games they lost last year. But this year is incredible that they've lost these games at home.
Is it 1 year or 2 years?
Well, I mean, they were 10-8 last year.
That's a difference right there. That's a nice little debate there.
They were 10-8 last year. They're 10-8 right now. They got 2 games left.
Right.
So it's got 2 years.
Yeah. It's feeling like 2 years
I
right
mean,
now.
because that's different if it's just this.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is the outlier. It's that's glad we're not going to talk about Kansas this segment. That's great. We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Yo, this is SSJ. Is your lawn ready to be the envy of the neighborhood? At Custom Lawn and Landscape, they make achieving a green, weed-free lawn easy with their expert 7-step fertilization and weed control program. With over 40 years of experience serving Johnson County, they're very excited to now be serving Lawrence and all of Kansas City as well. And here's the best part. Get your first application absolutely free. That's right. Plus, their expert grub control is guaranteed to prevent lawn damage before it even starts. So don't settle for a patchy, weedy yard. Grab the lush, healthy lawn you deserve. Call Custom Lawn today or visit CustomLawn.com to claim your free application and get started. Custom Lawn and Landscape. Because beautiful lawns, you know what, Todd? They don't happen by accident.
No.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, so we've talked about Kansas losing to Texas Tech.
We haven't dug into Missouri enough.
We're going to dig in right now.
Dig in.
And by the way, Kansas now takes on Houston tonight at Houston.
Never heard of him.
Right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. So as for Missouri, they lost at Vanderbilt, a team that they're good, man. They just won at A&M. Vandy, man, it's going to be a tough out in the NCAA tournament, too.
Are they going to make the tournament?
Yeah.
What was wrong with you?
They are in.
They lost to Oklahoma by 30 points.
They are in.
They shouldn't
Todd.
be in.
No, they what?
They just won at A&M and just beat Missouri.
They're not even like in the last.
If you lose to Oklahoma by 30
They're like
points,
a
you
nine
shouldn't
seed.
be in.
Missouri,
They're like a
Oklahoma's
9 seed
in.
right now.
Oklahoma's not in the tournament, are they?
Oklahoma's in.
No
See,
way.
I crushed you when you were gone because they won games against won a game against a ranked opponent.
And then what
they
they
won
do on
games,
Saturday?
so-
They were up with 20 seconds going lost like
That's
they
their
do.
fault.
So let's quit avoiding this Missouri loss. Let's talk about it.
I'm telling you that Vanderbilt, yes, is a good team.
Yeah, they're not even
They
like
are a good
last
team.
four buys.
Dude,
last
the
four
SEC
in.
is
They were on the
nasty.
9 line
Yeah.
before this.
Right. Oklahoma's last four in last week on Lenardi.
Yeah, they're still there.
Missouri has a win over Vanderbilt,
Oklahoma's got a big one this week, midweek.
but Vandy beat Tennessee. Vandy beat Kentucky. Vandy beat Ole Miss. Vandy won at A&M. Vandy just beat Missouri. So Vandy's good.
Vandy's good.
Missouri's good too. And I'm not gonna be one of these Mizzou fans now. Oh, Dennis Gates can't coach and Missouri sucks. You know what? Dennis Gates had a bad day/night at the office. Doesn't mean he can't coach. Means he made some mistakes. He admitted that he made some mistakes. All right? I am of the belief that if the right situation presents itself and you have the opportunity, you should foul up 3 with 5 seconds or less, or whatever. It might be 6. I don't know. It depends on where the guy is with the ball and how you can get your hands on him.
You got to be careful.
But in that situation, there was an opportunity for Mizzou to foul. They didn't. But that wasn't the biggest problem. Well, that was probably the biggest problem I had. There was a bigger problem.
It was the last problem, yeah.
Dennis Gates had a timeout left when he went to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's no reason, and he even said it again after the game. Dennis Gates said he should have called a timeout. So this is no hot take here, but most Mizzou fans that watched the game felt the same way. Mizzou was up. Oh, my God, this is going to make me sick to go through this again, but whatever.
Read the play-by-play out.
After Tamar Bates hit a jump shot with 1:33 left, they were up 6. Mizzou fouls with 1:14 left. Vandy makes a couple of free throws, so Mizzou's up 4. Caleb Grill missed a 3. But Ant Robinson got the offensive rebound, and Mizzou calls a timeout with 46 seconds left. Mizzou's got the ball with 46 seconds left, up 4.
It's a good spot to be in.
They're moving the ball around. Mark Mitchell gets caught, a double team. He's getting ready to pass the basketball to an open, I believe, Robinson. Whistle blows. They said he stepped out of bounds. His toe stepped out of bounds. That is a gigantic mistake. You're up 4 with 35 seconds left, and you have the ball.
Can't turn it over.
Either you're going to run some more time off the clock, or you're going to get fouled. But if you run some more time off the clock and they're not going to foul in that situation, you're going to get a shot, and maybe you put the game away. But what you can't do is turn the ball over. He steps out of bounds, terrible mistake, turns the ball over. Vandy gets it. They come down, make a couple of free throws, and all of a sudden it's 77-75 with 23 seconds left. Mizzou gets fouled. Anthony Robinson steps up, big spot for the sophomore point guard. He hits both free throws. Back up 4. Then with 12 seconds left, Edwards Vandy hits a clutch 3. And I'm screaming the whole time, no threes, no threes,
Guard the 3.
no threes, there's a 3. So then Mizzou's up 1. Caleb Grill gets fouled. He goes to the free throw line, nails both of them.
They did a good job making free throws.
Nailing their free throws.
That's how you win these games.
And so with 9 seconds left or so, Caleb Grill hits 2 free throws, 81-78. Here's what should have happened. Timeout, Missouri.
Let's talk about it.
All right, everybody, come in here. We're up 3. There's 9 seconds left. All right, the 5 guys that are in there, here's what I want you to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you cannot do. Here is who cannot shoot. Whatever you do, Nickel doesn't shoot. He had 7 3-pointers made in the last game. And now we see he's hit a couple in the second half. He's hot. He can't shoot. Someone else got to beat us. Guard the 3-point line. And if it gets to this, here, that, there, we foul. Okay, does everyone understand? Are we good? All right, glad I had that timeout to use. Let's go. That didn't happen.
No.
No timeout calls.
Let it play.
After the game, Dennis Gates said that he should have called the timeout. They come down. Mark Mitchell, after the game, said that they were trying to foul. I've watched the last play several times. It does not appear to me that anyone's trying to foul. Maybe I'm missing it. Okay? But the time to foul was when the kid starts to drive, right? Inside the 3-point arc.
Foul there because
foul him.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's what happened. Trent Pierce, who I'm not being a smartass, because of the way he played, I genuinely don't know why he was still in the game. The answer the answer is because of his length. He's 6'9".
Block a shot.
And he's there to guard the perimeter. I would have gone with Perkins, the veteran, the transfer from Iowa, better perimeter defender, smart player in that situation, more experienced. If you watch the play, and if you do, it'll drive you crazy if you're a Mizzou fan over and over again. Hoggard drives.
That's where you can foul him easily.
Okay. But, say they don't foul him, which they didn't. Right? Trent Pierce, he is on Tyler Nickel.
That's number 11. Let him go.
Nickel's number 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let 11 go.
Just let him. Yeah.
Trent Pierce is on the three-point shooter that Vandy's trying to get the ball to. He sees
You got bad eyes.
the kid driving towards the basket and watches the basketball and takes a step forward like he's going to crash down on the basketball.
From behind and get a rebound. Who cares?
Or go and try to defend him or block that shot. Who cares if he takes a 2-point shot when you're up 3? Who cares?
Nobody.
And guess what? The one thing you sure as hell don't want to do if they decide to take a 2 is foul them.
Right.
Because then you could do an and one. Let him go. Let him go. Let him make the 2. Then you got the ball. Inbounds the ball. Go hit your free throws again. But instead, he does the one thing that he cannot do, and he takes a step away from Nickel. Moves away from him.
Turns his head and leaves his man.
And to watch the basketball being driven harmlessly towards the basket. So the kid, what do you think he does?
Throws it to the guy who's
What do you think
open.
Hoggard does? Turns around,
Throws it to the guy.
kicks it back out.
You don't
Nickel,
get a wide open 3 like that.
3. No, especially not for him. That's the guy.
Yeah.
That would be like if someone was defending Missouri and Missouri was down 3.
Just let Caleb Grill walk
and
around.
they crashed down on Ant Robinson driving to the basket and allowed him to kick it out to a wide open Caleb Grill.
Who's just
How dumb would that be?
Wandering around the perimeter.
That
waiting.
would not be a smart basketball play.
Yeah, you definitely should have called the timeout. Should have gotten each kid's eyes and told them exactly what they got to do. You got to reinforce those things.
And then he let Pierce in there in overtime to get beat with lazy defense down the baseline with a backdoor cut.
A lot of times I don't mind when coaches let them play when it's on offense because that's different. But when it's on defense, that's when you call the timeout.
So then listen to this. So then they still had 2.3 seconds
you could have
left.
called the timeout right then.
Guess what? You didn't call the timeout on defense. You gave up the game-winning 3. You still have 2.3 seconds left. That's not impossible.
Yeah, that's a throw-in.
Guess
catch, pass.
what?
Just let it play.
Call the timeout then.
No.
Set up your best play. And guess what? You might have to use this in the NCAA tournament. This is a great opportunity, a situation to use it. Let's call the timeout.
Are you you transported back to Saturday night right now? You getting angry?
But so then why do they get a bonus for taking that timeout to overtime? No. And so but I can't complain too much because Dennis Gates came out and said, I should have called a timeout. I made a mistake.
Live and learn. It's tough loss.
And Mark Mitchell says they were supposed to foul.
This is not some devastating loss for Missouri because, as you said, Vanderbilt's a good team, but they had a chance to win that game. That was going to be a game if they won. It'd really be alive for the double bye in the SEC tournament, which they're still alive
They could have been alive to get as high as the 3 seed.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're clean a lot. And I honestly, I really don't care about the double bye. I don't care what happens in the SEC tournament. I don't care if they're one and done in the SEC tournament. I'm afraid if they win 2 or 3 games and get beaten up and go, have to play all these.
You
tough
don't want
teams,
them to win the SEC tournament.
I'm not concerned about that. I want them to have success in the NCAA tournament.
Why can't you have both?
Because I think it would take a great toll on the team that plays 3 or 4 games in the SEC tournament.
That's why you want the double bye.
I'm more concerned about how it affected the seeding in the NCAA
I'm gonna
tournament.
tell you something. If they win the SEC tournament, you're buying it. You're buying a shirt. I promise you.
Sure, but I've seen them win the conference tournament before.
Been a while.
Back after this on WHB. Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here for my friends at Window Nation. That's right, Window Nation. And right now, you need to take advantage of some of the great deals that Window Nation has to offer. And look, the weather has been all over the place, right? And unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, but the cold weather is it's not done. It's coming back. And maybe you're going to have some cold air in your house because of cold and drafty windows. You don't want to do that. You're throwing money out your window as well. And so what you need to do is you need to contact my friends at Window Nation. And you can stop wasting money and you can start saving money with wonderful new windows that'll keep your costly heat inside, lower your monthly utility bills, and keep your home comfortable year-round. They're affordable, too. Right now, get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. And you can also get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 years and pay nothing until 2027. Doesn't that sound great? Woo! All right, don't overpay for expensive windows that may not be as good. Schedule a fast, free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation, the best in the business. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or check him out online at windownation.com.